Founded on the principle that all men are created equal, and that the rights of every man are diminished, and the rights of one man are threatened.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has...
It should be an area as big as that, unexplored. It's a tremendous
Are we there now?
We're live. There you go.
Are we live? There we go.
There we go.
Yo, you got the speaker on over there? Do you put the speaker on over there? Yeah, turn it on. So we're live at Filthy's here in Vero Beach, Florida.
Back again.
Thanks for everybody for being here. You can hear us? Good? All right, good.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. You can see us up there. All right, perfect. All right, look at that. It all worked out. All right, cool. All right.
For now.
So we're here with Mike from To The Point Podcast. I'm John from TGI Now Podcast. We got Rondell from TGI Now Podcast. And then we have my brother Rich, who's a consistent guest on the TGI Now Podcast. And so we're here to talk about some conspiracy topics, the Conspiracy Club 101. We started with Joe Zepp, and we appreciate everybody coming and checking it out and being a part of it. So thanks for being here. So how you doing, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good over here.
Nice. You look good, bud. You look good on the camera there. So we got Mike in the house. He's our producer and one of our partners, Binford Chronicles as well. Joanne Binford's here too. So we got some topics we want to talk about. I think the biggest one that's on the list of things is probably the Artemis II, right? I mean, that's probably the one that kind of came out of nowhere. It was on April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
So was that a coincidence or?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, not a coincidence at all.
It wasn't a coincidence?
I've been seeing little videos they have of this little Disney fat robot running across they have a video of him coming off the sand dunes and shit. I'm like, oh yeah, this is all April Fool's.
Right, April Fool's Day, right? Just
I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
We're going to the dark side of the moon on April Fool's. So it's kind of interesting to see that. So I think the one thing that you have to look at is why are they doing it now? Why now?
I know after 54 years since they last been to the moon. You know, they're now going, but they're not going on it. They're just going around it, and
We're just gonna pass it.
Yeah.
and if it's the same old story, it's more likely they're not in it.
Yeah.
The thing took off. It's either in orbit or it landed somewhere, and the astronauts are at a studio.
So it's kind of like a flyby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doing their thing and pretending we're the closest to the moon we've ever been with people in since, 1972.
Yeah.
Yet one of the pilots said, this is the first time we're going to the moon, first time. He said first time.
Yeah, he said it.
I
Yeah,
saw that. We
yeah.
played that on the TGI Now
I
show.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, is that some kind of consent or he just slipped and it, they're telling you too that we didn't go, but
Yeah. I think they were. I think this is a part of disclosure. I think we're getting this disclosure now to tell people and show people that that maybe we never really went to the moon. That it was all a stage show. It was done by the director
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
Exposed
word.
it in. He did a
Yeah, in The Shining, he tried to leave clues in that movie about what that we did not go, and what it was all about. And that's why Stephen King hated that movie, because Kubrick did something different with that movie than the book.
So then, if this Artemis thing is, April Fool's and maybe it's real or fake, what's the moon landing at this point? I mean, where are we at with the moon landing? Was it really not real in that one too, or I mean?
Well, yeah, that would seem more likely now too that we didn't go. If this is what's happening. There's a lot of, like I said. Remember we had this discussion with with Joe Zepp back in November.
Yeah.
There's a possibility some think that we did go, but that's not the real footage, because whatever they saw in there, they don't want you to see. That's one theory. Yeah. The other is they just faked it and they can't get there. Either it'd be a firmament, there's water, or you can't get by the Van Allen belt.
Yeah.
And it just can't be done. It's that's the other one. But they wanted to do it because they can do it. They can fake it. But at that time, TV was prominent, and they could do stuff like that. It's actually a guy like Stanley Kubrick, and then who filmed that fucking thing on the moon the way it was.
So when they flew away,
not just when they flew away, when they got off the ladder, the first man that got off, there's a camera already set there.
Yeah, how did he get there?
That's what I'm saying. He or Mo, they'll tell you always. They always have some kind of answer.
Yeah,
when they're lifting off from the moon.
Yes,
last
that
time,
too.
There's somebody filming.
Yes, the
whole
camera
thing
goes up and pans. But they'll tell you, it was NASA miscontrol, by remote control.
You guys lost signal. Supposedly.
Well, that's true.
And then you have to factor in the whole AI thing. Like what are we watching? What are we seeing every day with AI?
Yeah.
Everything is not. You can't tell what's real and what's not anymore. I think that's the topic of this whole night. Is it real or fake? The Artemis nukes real or fake? Are nukes real or fake? Are they fake? Is it nuclear warheads? Are they real or are they fake?
Not as
Nukes are
powerful than they say they are.
Exactly.
Nukes are real.
Yeah.
Nukes
They're
are what
real,
give a
but are they
country-
as bad as they?
I don't know about them being as bad as they say they are.
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, it's real, but how bad are they? The only two that were landed that people know about were in Japan.
Yeah.
They give you some footage, but not a lot. They only had the aftermath. Then they show the
That's
footage.
not footage. That's not real either. Because how would you get that back? Do you understand that film would be
the footage like they show you with the houses falling apart.
Yeah.
The camera
Who
would
get
blow
that?
out too.
Yeah, the camera would be gone.
Yeah, but
How
the
did you
camera
get
stayed still watching this thing.
Exactly.
And
So that's what I get
it
back
looks like
to.
Terminator 2.
Yeah.
some of those scenes.
So that's why I get back to what is real and what is fake.
Well, that's
they
the
could have
question.
they could have faked that too. That looks like it might have been done on purpose, and it was done maybe
For
with
fear.
some technology for fear.
for fear of
exactly, yeah.
other countries. Like, look what we got.
Yeah.
America's got this now.
Yeah, so that's a lot of it too. Is fear. It's putting fear in the population to be worried about a nuclear annihilation. Just like what happened recently with the whole Iran thing. It's like it's this fear-based reality that's messing with our consciousness, and that's where we have to. And that's why we have people here that are gathered at this Conspiracy Club 101. Get together is for people want to talk about these things. They have questions. They want to ask other people that are like-minded. What do you think? Do you think this is true? Do you because it's hard sometimes. You get isolated. You're isolated. You lose family. You lose friends. I mean, that's what ends up happening. And a lot of us started these podcasts because of that reason, because we needed to speak about it and speak it out into existence and to talk about it and have people speak their truth and to be able to feel comfortable doing that. And that's why we offer people to come on the show to speak their truth if they're willing to come on and be on camera or whatever like that. We offer that opportunity here tonight as well to talk about some of these topics, and I'll get into some of the other topics too. So if anybody hears one that they want to join in, you're more than welcome. So we already did the Artemis one. We did the nukes, and I go to Princess Diana. Like a lot of people talk about Princess Diana, and if she's still alive or if that was a fake death, that there's something happened there that was real or fake.
Well, she definitely was killed.
I think she got killed.
She was definitely
was
murdered.
against the grain.
If she is dead.
Yeah.
Or if she survived it, she was attempted to be killed, but then lived and
Okay.
is hiding. But
Okay.
she did. There wasn't an accident.
Okay.
That's one thing I think you
She
can
was killed.
eliminate. She was killed.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah,
Along with her boyfriend, Fayed, Dadi Fayed.
Okay.
He
All
was
right.
a threat, and
Yeah.
she was no longer part of the royals, and they hated her.
Yeah, that's one rabbit hole I've been going down lately. Also, the number 4 on the list is JFK Jr. Did he fake his death? Like, is that?
That's a tough one.
And I've gone down that rabbit hole pretty hard, probably deeper than most people do. And I've come to the conclusion that it's possibility that was another scenario where he had to do something to take himself off the playing field and to obviously just diverge people to think that the plane went down in one place and it went down in another. Bill Cooper talked about this days after that plane went down. He said there was a decoy transponder on the other side of the island where they were looking for that plane and they couldn't find nothing.
Well, he thought though they killed him.
Yeah, well, he thought they killed him. Yeah.
And that's one thing I think. If he is dead, he was a threat and he was eliminated.
Exactly. But why did they have a transponder on the other side of the island when they were looking for the plane over here? There was no plane, but there was a transponder, and over here is where they found the plane, way on the other side. So why was that a decoy? There's got to be a reason for that too.
Yeah,
And Bill Cooper. If people don't know who Bill Cooper is, he wrote the book Behold a Pale Horse, and he talks about a lot of these subject matters, 9/11 and things of that nature. And that book is a really good book to listen to or read because it gives you a playbook of kind of what we're living right now.
Well, the only thing is about that means the girlfriend and the sister would have to go along with
Of
this.
course,
And,
100%.
and if they're still doing it, I mean,
Well, and how ironic that recently there's a show on the internet called A Love Story with JFK Jr. and you see all these things and they're bringing this all up all of a sudden. Why would they bring this up to a whole nother generation of people that didn't know anything about them? You know, that have no idea who he was, what he stood for, what he did, what he was going to do, things that he knew.
They should make a serious film instead of some just love story.
Well, they have to do that to get the younger audiences to pay attention to it. If you do like a real movie, a lot of people wouldn't go see it.
Yeah, they wouldn't probably make it anyway.
No.
It'd have to be something that it would be banned practically if they did say he did fake his death.
Yeah.
They got to look at this and say, oh, that's the JFK's son.
Yeah.
He was the famous one that was probably killed in the conspiracy. And then they're bringing up his life of how he was as an adult, how famous he was.
Well,
all the girls loved him.
Well, that's the thing. They did show how famous he is because of the privacy that they didn't have. It was almost like you couldn't even live like that at this point. Like, what do? We can't live like this the rest of our lives. Where do we go?
That's a good point because they were paparazzi'd up the ass.
And that's what that movie showed, was that they were being tortured for so long and every day, couldn't leave the house, that it was like, how do we get out of this? We can't. We're screwed. We're going to be stuck like this for the rest of our lives. Or we make a detour and get out.
They might have did that. That's maybe the reason why they did it.
I know. Believe me, I've gone down this rabbit hole a lot. Believe me, and it's pretty concerning.
Go ahead. I was just saying, like, ever since Elvis, there's always been this thing about maybe celebrities wanting to get away, get away from it all, every bit of it. The control, the handlers, the money, the fame that wears them out. Because Elvis is a guy that could have done that. And
that's true.
Then there's others and then there's others that could be still. Anybody, Michael Jackson, Prince, who knows?
Yeah, that's true. What do you think, Mike? I know you've been itching to get in there.
Oh, yeah. I'm not on camera right now, but we do have a comment from DT. DT's a fan of To The Point also, and he says, allegedly, of course, I'll throw that out there because we're on TikTok also right now. And he says, we didn't land on the moon. We didn't circle the moon. JFK was done in by the CIA. Aliens are real. The Earth is flat, and I need a joint.
Like that.
That's from DT. The bad influence DT.
Well, DT, you should check out our show too, TGI Now. We're always smoking joint nut show, so that's so funny. No, that's a good. I mean, and that's a lot of the list that we come up with when we do these shows. That the things he said about flat Earth and all these different topics. But I mean, when you go down these rabbit holes, it gets a little exhausting after a while, because, Rondell, we've done 300 episodes on TGI Now. We've covered pretty much all these things, right? I mean,
what ones open up?
Yeah,
we're on it.
Yeah, I mean,
we're on it.
What I mean, you think about that. I mean, even the topics on here that we got on the list, I can go down the list even more. 9/11. We've talked about 9/11.
A lot of time.
There's
always a connection to talk about it.
Yeah, and there's a lot there.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
That's the start of World War III, if you want to call it that. That was the beginning.
Yeah,
we've been in it for this long, which was prophesized, I think, by Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Because I was very, astute to his, writings.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
and it would last. The war would last 7 and 20 years.
Yeah.
27 years. Yeah. And that would be by the end. 28, it could be ended by then. It could come to a full head by then. 27, 28.
Gotcha.
But other than that, it's just it was such a big deal, not just because of what some people, oh God, the attacks, but it was just an insurance scam, a scam to get Israel to bring us to the Middle East, which we're still stuck today, and get rid of all those Arab countries that they're preying on, which is the last one is Israel. I mean, Iran. And it's not just oil. There's other things you may not even know about, like the the Gilgamesh,
Yeah, the body.
Yeah, like a cover. There's covers going on. There's just things that the public would never think about or know. They just see the TV, and Fox News, dong, the Iranian just lost 10 tankers, due to missiles.
Well, let me ask you this. So, I mean, we've gone down this thing with 9/11 numerous times. We talk about the planes. We talk about Building 7. We talk about the Pentagon. We talk about if planes really hit the buildings.
Yes.
We talk about there was thermite in the buildings and there was a controlled demolition. I mean, I've gotten to the point now with AI and what we've seen with what AI can do that maybe there was no planes that hit the buildings at all.
Well, holograms.
They were holograms.
Because we are always 30 years or so ahead of what they tell us
Yeah.
in technology. And it is possible. You know, I always thought it was planes designed to go through buildings.
Yeah.
You know, and then I've gone through different, various rabbit holes about it.
Yeah.
And that does seem very logical,
Yeah. Especially now with AI that we see what we see now. It definitely does seem very logical. I mean, me and you, I talked about it many times, and we said, well, how could they like to do if there was no planes, and what happened to the people that were on the planes, that they said they died and all that, and it's like, I don't know, like they could be
the planes were diverted.
They were diverted
and eliminated.
Exactly. So then you go down that far, and you're like, oh, well, they would divert the planes and then eliminate the people, and then tell people that they died in the planes and they were holograms. Like, is that possible?
It is. Well, it is, but some people still won't go for it. Still, some, especially ones that their families went to the military over this, or they even had relatives that were on those planes and whatever. Yeah, I think 93 was not shot down. I think that was Flight 93, and then they gave the story about the heroes.
Yeah.
But I think Cheney just had that thing shot down.
Yeah.
It just has evidence of a plane that was shot way up there and burned up.
Yeah, I said that from day one.
The day one, you said
day
it.
one. I said that.
That
So
plane-
I was on that, but I fell for the the jet fuel burnt the steel. I fell for that one. That one I kind of fell for. I was like, yeah, well, the jet fuel gets really hot, so it could melt the steel, and then the building would fall down, right?
Well,
It's
they wouldn't all
It's
fall down.
It's physics.
It's physics.
At,
I know, but
At best, the tops would have
Especially
just
how a skyscraper is built.
Yeah.
There's these things called keystones.
Yes.
That if a piece of the building is hit, it stops the building from collapsing
Yeah.
and like that.
Yeah.
Literally, it's something like in its pieces.
No, you're
it's
right.
Multiple
Yeah,
of them in the building.
Yeah.
So it could
Once
get
I
hit
came
at
to that
certain spots.
conclusion,
Yeah.
then I realized I was like, well, then there would be a lot of jet fuel would have to drip
the
all
core
the way down the
columns
building.
would have to be compromised.
Yeah.
Already compromised.
Yeah,
like
and
somebody
they were.
put dynamite through them already.
Dynamite, sliced and dynamite. There was evidence of all that. It just, there was. But
So let's piece this together real quick. So the guys went in the building ahead of time. They wired the whole building with
they had
thermite.
access to the elevator shafts.
So they did that.
They did it for both buildings. All bomb dogs were called off.
Yeah. So let's go through the steps. So they did that. They did the elevator shafts. They wired it for sound, and then they picked the day. They pretend like they hijacked these planes, but they diverted them, and then they use holograms to go in the planes, and then
the time it,
and the time it where it would look like it would explode. Because when you look at the videos now, when you really look at them, it literally explodes out.
Right before the plane gets to it, it explodes.
And the planes
everything blows out.
disappear when they go in there.
Yeah.
But they had access. Building 7 was easy to control demolition. Because that's a government building, easy as pie.
Yeah.
The two other buildings needed, a little
Inside
special.
job.
Yes, a little special attention.
Yeah.
But a diversion as well, And the elevator shafts were closed for weeks. They said they were redoing the elevators.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then
They were talking about the Jewish people that were there, art students.
Yeah.
That they might have been the ones that wired it.
Yeah, there's pictures of that. That's true.
They're cutting the beams there and there
Yes.
with saws.
Yeah.
They slice the beams on an angle, and then it's like just how they take down a building that's no longer needed, an old building.
True. And then if you throw it even on top of that, then you look at when Bush was told that it happened, and the look on his face was like, "Oh, yeah, it happened."
Yep.
Like he didn't look shocked.
No.
He didn't look concerned. He didn't look like
He's
we're under attack.
They finally did it.
It was like, it went down. All right,
went
here we
through
go.
with it, I guess.
This is why I was elected.
This is why
it was a robbed election.
Yeah. So when you look at it from that point of view, you can really piece it together and see that it all goes together.
Well, time will reveal it. And now that it's been 25 years, just
Yeah.
about, it does reveal, how the world changed. And there was so much, like all the gold that was underneath there was diverted and stolen, taken God knows where. A couple trucks were left behind because the buildings were coming down. The steel all went to China.
true.
That's a crime scene.
That's a
they
crime
didn't
scene.
close it off,
Nope.
but they just do it. Oh, people, we got to save people. Got to save, and all the people that were there got a lot of them got sick and died and had health problems, and they should have never been out there.
And then we went to war for it, so then it takes it even farther that way too.
Yep.
So it's
Two
just
countries.
all by design.
Yep, 2 countries.
And now here we are going through the similar situation with nuke scares and war scares and all that.
Well, it shows how much Israel now is the culprit.
Yeah.
Like back then, you didn't think that. Even with the dancing Israelis and the
Yeah.
Israelis that were bombing the bridges
true.
that they found, they got to them.
That's true.
But they were let go.
Yeah.
And now they're our allies. It's all the brown Muslims. Come on now. And now that 25 years later,
all the brown.
well, that's
Muslims.
because all those people that love Fox.
I
That's
know.
a point I was trying to make out about people.
Yeah.
Got to
I
get
get it.
them. Put a boot in their ass. That all. I hated all that then.
Yeah, no, I know.
You
But
know.
now you don't hate it as much. Now you're calmer because it's pretty much common knowledge. What do you think,
Yes.
Mike?
We have another comment from DT.
I love it.
And he says that there's AI video of me doing some really odd shit. Or at least I'm claiming it as AI.
At least I'm saying it.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Because we're on TikTok?
I stopped. No, not anymore. I took us off because I'm sure there'll be a list of violations here in a minute. But,
that's funny.
all my crazy stuff was before camera phones.
Yeah. No, I got you. Yeah, no, it's it's a wild time to be alive, and that's why I was telling some people here that they came to the show. And thanks for everybody for showing up and tuning in online. We got some people online watching, which is nice. So, but yeah, it becomes exhausting after a while. You have to take
Yes,
a
it
break.
does.
Yes, it does. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, well, for the people at home, just share the show and drop a comment like DT, and who knows, maybe we'll try to give away a couple of T-shirts or something.
Yeah,
like
we could do that. Where's DT at? Is he in town? Is he in this area?
Yes, he is in the area.
Oh, is he? Okay. All right. So maybe
I think.
All right. We'll send him a T-shirt for commenting on our show here. We appreciate
for sure.
that. We like the interaction. It helps. Because people want to know. They want to know that they're not alone and they can talk about these subjects and people in the comments, because that's what I know. When you're watching a video on YouTube or you read the comments, you want to see what people are saying about the video to see if it's real or fake. Is it real? Is it true? Is this stuff real? I mean, we were talking earlier on the show before the show about some of these Hollywood women that people say that are men. It's getting to that point where it's like, what is real? Like, where are we at this point? I remember Nick Novak, and shout out to Filthies and Nick Novak and Angela for letting us be here. Is that he talked to Isaac Cappy that was in Hollywood, and Nick talked to him about that and asked him questions about the women in Hollywood, and Cappy told him, he was like, you know what, he's like, a lot of the women you think that are hot, they're actually men. And I was like, and he was like, no, don't tell me that.
Talk about ruin a childhood.
I know,
Jennifer Aniston, no.
Well, that's what he said, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And even Nick was like, and then Nick's a big part of this, Conspiracy Club 101, and it was his idea, Nick and Joseph's idea to try to start this, and luckily we have a place that we can do this, where you normally wouldn't have a place to do a show like this where we'd be allowed to talk about these things out loud. But yeah, he was devastated. He was like, and then of course Cappy supposedly killed himself, but he warned us about a lot of this stuff too. And so, I mean, that's where you have to keep in mind, sometimes these people that are gone or are not on the stage, whether they're here or they faked their death or whatever, they left us messages, they left us clues that we were able to see, because we're still here having these conversations now and doing podcasts. And Mike, to the point, does podcasts with Vince and Leo, and they talk about these things, and it helps awaken other people. That's the key, is to help awaken other people to be able to speak it into existence and talk about it. I mean, I know Rondell taught me a lot, about things, and Rich has too, and we teach each other, these things, and some things, you just don't want to believe, is Melania really a guy? I'm like, I don't know, I thought she was a woman. I don't know. You get to this point where sometimes you got to step away and be like, okay, maybe that's not true. Maybe it is.
Well,
true.
yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes it's not. Maybe it's controlled opposition that makes you, go this route, and then you think, then it gets diluted. Everything gets distorted.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, you don't know that, you get too down the rabbit hole.
I thought that was the flat Earth. Again, I'm not on camera, but I'm over here faceless.
Yeah.
I thought that was the whole flat Earth theory, was metaphorically question the narrative. Whether you believe the Earth is flat or not,
True.
it's a metaphor to question everything they're fed to us.
Yes.
But there is
Exactly.
like a 40%, I would say, that actually believe
That it's flat or some kind of firmament, like it's a dome, but it's
Right.
flat, and there's a dome of some sort.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they can't go to the moon. And I've heard the stories that the Nazis went through Antarctica. They got there a different way, a different route.
Okay.
But who knows if there's footage?
Yeah.
Or they didn't get it, but you know,
Interesting.
because they tried to make ships too, like they do today when they copy.
Yeah,
UFOs.
I've seen those. Yeah, I've seen those. Ships.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
reverse
made a-
engineer.
They had a bell. They reverse engineered.
yes.
That thing was found in an Antarctic mountain. They pulled it out of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That thing supposedly flies, and they have no idea how it works still to this day.
Yeah,
wow.
who knows what happened when they did use that thing
Yeah.
or what they ever did with it. Because the Nazis eventually lost, and they.
Came over here. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's true.
They
though.
really didn't lose the war.
I mean,
you know?
Hitler.
just brought
There's a
him
good
in.
chance Hitler did not die.
Yeah.
over
NASA
there.
grabbed him.
You know.
There's another one. Yeah, Hitler didn't die.
Well, he didn't kill himself.
Yeah, he didn't
he
kill
just
himself.
went to Argentina,
Yeah.
and that was the end of it.
I saw, what was that, 2 years ago, me and John saw an article from the Argentinian president,
Oh, yeah.
the current Argentinian president. He releases everything saying they actually took him in.
Yeah.
He was a peanut
I
farmer.
saw that. Yep.
I was like, oh, that's crazy.
He was there. He he had a few drinks,
Right.
and it was definitely I've seen that. I've
Yep.
seen that, and I mean not just what you see, because like the History Channel will talk about it and some stations like that, but they always leave it to where well, we can't say that
It wasn't
for true.
worldwide news.
Yes.
They didn't put it out there for everybody
Yeah,
to know. Oh, he got away.
Stalin
Yeah,
thought
man.
he got away, and that was his arch enemy. Stalin's like, oh, this half-ass body they burned, it's not him.
Yeah.
I think he's gone. I mean, the other guys did kill themselves in the bunker. We caught the other ones, or the Allies did too. But Hitler, I think he just disappeared. Yeah, not in the literal sense. He just got a plane and got out of there, got in the sub
Yep.
with his wife. Supposedly they had kids too.
And they had Merkel, Andrew.
Well, I don't know if Merkel's one of those,
I don't
or
know.
it was prior to that.
Probably.
That it was either Eva's Braun's or some other woman's. But I believe that might be his daughter
Yeah.
too.
That wouldn't surprise me.
She has a resemblance. It's
Yeah.
but who knows exactly? But I
You said Eva Braun.
Eva Braun.
I think
Braun.
she was. They said the story behind her. She was like 15 or 13 when he found her, and he brought her with him. She was like he was grooming her.
Oh, I'm sure he was actually in love too with his second cousin.
They say he was grooming her.
wow.
that
He
killed
found her. She was a ballerina.
Yeah, and his second cousin committed suicide. He was very madly in love with one of his cousins back in the early 30s. By the time she killed herself, when he became right around the time he became Chancellor of Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, so he, and some say he's a Rothschild, and he's got some Jewish in him, which I know, which is funny, you know.
It's funny.
It almost seems like nowadays Hitler's not as crazy as they thought he was,
right.
because of what
Exactly.
going on with Israel.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
I mean, people are afraid to kind of say it.
Yeah, but it's pointing in that direction.
I know.
It's
It's
like all the arrows are going that
It's
way.
like you see one of them billboards that say have a picture of him. Miss me yet? Miss me yet?
Yeah.
Sometimes they do that with
The
presidents.
presidents,
that
yeah.
they're not there anymore.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense. I mean, it's everything's lining up. It really is. I mean, everything's coming full circle with a lot of all these conspiracies.
Hitler was funded by a lot of Swiss bankers and American bankers during that time. They were funding him, and it was going to go one way or another, but he was funded. It wasn't just making Germany great
You don't
again.
just get billions out of nowhere to start an army.
That's what I mean. He
Somebody gave him that shit.
Exactly. They built their economy pretty fast.
Somebody sponsored that war.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where I was pointing at. I don't know, the exact names of these people, but
makes sense.
use your mind.
We know it was America. Shit.
It was America.
NASA, we
Swiss.
took in all their scientists.
That's what I mean. After that ended, come with us.
Literally went over. Come with us. You ain't going to jail.
with Werner
You come
von
with us.
Braun.
Yeah.
They got the good German scientists. The
they
Russians
did.
got the shit one.
Yep.
Werner von Braun.
Got the ones they left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy knew some shit. Man.
D-Day was a rescue mission.
Well, that's what I mean. He did say
the
about
scientists.
fake alien invasion. But now it's like people kind of seem to know this and are not surprised or scared or even going to fall for it anymore.
Well, because and I tell it to Kelly all the time. I'm like the fake alien invasion thing would be so like obvious because now with AI and everything that we see now, we were like, yeah, that's
just
fake.
laughing.
You'd laugh at it at that point.
or if they had a fake ship that we engineered, you're like, okay, all right.
That's it. It would be you'd be so desensitized by it
Exactly.
now. And I think that's part of the awakening.
Yes.
I think that's part of what we talked about outside, the reverse psyop, that we're being psyoped on a daily basis, faster and faster and faster, to where you're just like, all right, yeah, I guess it's a fake alien. Ron Braun said that.
What about the aliens at the Miami Mall, supposedly?
Well, yeah, we did a podcast about that. Yeah,
were they buying sneakers?
Yeah, exactly. We did a whole show about that. I mean, that was ridiculous.
We're just here for sneakers.
But that's what it was. It's slowly desensitizing us to be able to see it for what it is. I mean, everything. I mean, everything's inverted. That's what I was saying earlier to Valerie before the show. That's what it is. It's a reverse psyop. So you're living in reverse. LIVE is live, and you spell in reverse is evil. So it's reverse. It's like this whole thing with all these inverted celebrities, the male and the female, and it's inverted. So you're living in evil. You're living in reverse. So like Victoria's Secret. That's why it's called Victoria's Secret. It was Victoria's Secret, the secret that all the models were men. Like that's it's like, oh wow, that's kind of fucked up.
I mean,
but it makes sense now. A lot of the models were trans. So it's been in our face all this time. We just didn't have the eyes to see it, the lens to see it, to put the they live glasses on, to put the glasses on and be like, oh shit, that looks like a dude. It's like you see it plain as day a lot of the times. There's a congresswoman that's a trans. She's from Rhode Island, I think. Yeah, that girl, whatever her name is. She's trans. I mean, she gets up there and she has these conversations, and I'm looking at her going like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what are you doing? Like, her hands are huge, her neck is monstrous, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, and she's out there doing videos, and she's an elected congresswoman from Delaware.
Like, you got on TV like this?
Yeah, she gets on videos and starts talking about all kinds of shit, and I'm like, I can't take you seriously. Like, come on, she's not even hot. Like, at least Jennifer Aniston kind of looks hot.
Yeah, you can admit to
I can't let it go.
You can admit to these ones that are men, might be men, and they're hot.
Yeah,
it's okay. All right, whatever.
I know, but I mean, geez, like even and it makes me think about this too. It makes me think about that song from the Kinks, Lola.
Yeah.
La 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 Lola.
Yeah.
She was a man, walked like a woman, but talked like a man. Christ.
See, that'd be great if he was playing it.
That was good. Yeah, that song, you listen to that song and you're like, I listened to that song when I was in like 6th grade.
Yeah, you just listen.
And you listen to it and she walks.
Well, you made fun of it calling Yoda.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but we listen to the lyrics and I just like, it's just now you look back and you're like, yeah, this has been right there all along. It's never been hidden. It's just evil is coming to the surface. So it's easier to see. You're putting the glasses on. You put the They Live glasses on, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Now I see for what it is.
Mama don't like tattletales.
Yeah. That's what it is.
I got one that can see.
What do you think, Mike?
I'm off subject.
Off subject? Yeah. All right. We got any more comments? No more comments?
No, not as a
Nothing?
As a,
All right.
Where's Ish?
Where's Ish?
Where's Ish's comment?
Yeah, I was thinking Ish would be jumping in. No, he's not
working.
There. He's working. He's got another job.
He's working hard.
He's working hard, making a living.
Do we have anybody lined up?
I don't think anybody wanted to come on the show. I asked, unless Joanne wants to, or Joe, but I didn't.
Or Valerie.
I didn't have her. No, she didn't want to come on. No.
Okay.
She's like, no.
Nah, give her some time.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
She's gonna see what it's all about.
We appreciate everybody coming out, though. I mean, some people that have stepped in that are new and
sit in?
Yeah.
Joanne will come on.
Yeah, Joanne coming. Yeah. Joanne's got the big mug. She's got her mug.
Oh, it's been.
We covered a lot of topics actually. We've done pretty good. It's been good. Yeah, jump in there. But we got into the Artemis, real or fake, that kind of stuff. The moon, the dark side of the moon.
What about what was coming out of it? Those zip lines, like they weren't.
I did see that.
They
yeah,
escaped, from it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like they did get in the capsule, but then they're out.
Yeah, I did see that.
No one seemed to notice.
There was like a zip line. The rocket was going up. I don't know if you did. You see that, Mike?
The videos I've seen,
Was it not real?
it does. They do that automatically at launch.
Okay.
With or without astronauts in them, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what
Yeah,
you're
but
told.
this is a different launch.
Right.
Even though we've been doing the SpaceX,
Right.
this is the first rocket they've had since the 70s, where even though they had 2 boosters, they still had the fuel tank with the capsule up top.
Oh, okay.
So they're still like using almost the technology we had by the late 70s, except it has 2 boosters like the shuttle, but that's it. The shuttle was a bigger deal where they did have an escape hatch to get out of.
Right. I don't think the original Apollo missions had an
I don't
escape.
think they did either.
Yeah. They have that long tower, they say, again, on the top that's for like an abort, but
Yes.
that's during a launch, not actual at liftoff. So I don't know. I would have to see multiple launches to see if that would,
if you were
that's what
there
happens,
if you were there the closer up shot to see that, I mean, I saw the thing take off, but of course we didn't see that. That was too far away.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I mean, it definitely went in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
and then where it went from there, you don't know.
Well, and again, and I watched a couple videos too, and like everything goes up and then curves and then goes down into the ocean.
Yeah.
Like it always curves and goes like that.
It curves.
It never goes straight up. It always curves down.
You could say the curves in the ocean, or they stay in low orbit
Yeah.
until they return. Like maybe the shuttles were doing that, but that's it. They can't go any further. But they can do their space shit up there, or if they can't even do it, they do it. If they didn't go up there, then they're doing it at a studio or something.
So if they ever land on the moon, will we really know if they landed on the moon?
Now we
Because
don't, because AI.
there will always
It's like,
be
unless you
about it
can
earlier.
touch it and
There-
feel it yourself,
there will
you're
always
gonna
be
wonder.
the question now, because everything is you don't know what they're giving you, and not just on us, but on an international level. What this does to our opposition on the other side of the globe, they're going to be dumping tons of money into getting there too, if they believe the hoax.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
There you go.
DT says the astronauts are safe. They're in a secret and safe place in Apopka or Okeechobee. Nobody will find them there.
There you go.
Well, I tell you what, I love the technology that ship can come and land on its own.
Yes,
the
Goes in
SpaceX.
there.
The SpaceX.
Yeah.
that's
'cause
cool,
It
yeah.
saves money because when they go up, those fuel tanks got to detach. They go in the water.
Yeah.
You got to retrieve them, clean them up, and reuse them. They've been doing that for years. With the space shuttle. At least that, like she said, it comes back.
Yeah.
And it's impressive.
Yeah.
But and why couldn't they do that all those years?
That's true.
But they get Morton Thiokol and all those other companies to be joined in with them.
Whatever happened to like flying up in space? Didn't Elon Musk say they were going to do like little trips where people could fly in space?
Yeah.
Are they still doing that?
No, they're just the SpaceX ones, but that's it. But they seem to. He says that we're going to get to the moon. I mean, to Mars.
Mars.
We're going to colonize Mars.
Jeff
I know.
Bezos is putting high-paying clients into a low orbit where they're experience weightlessness for 4 minutes
I
on the
read
blue
that.
horizon.
Yeah.
They get up there and they float for a few minutes and they come right back down.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
we
that.
saw
Katy
that.
Perry was on there, but
I saw that.
That's
I
a
don't
cheap
know if
thrill.
Elon's done the tourism part yet. I think he's focusing on getting stuff. And you know what? I'm not sold that he's all about putting people out there.
Yeah.
I think we're after something else other than what does he
like
call
a floating city,
Uh,
a city in
well,
orbit?
No, like a remote mining facility for minerals you don't have here on Earth. That would protect you from cosmic radiation if the physics are right. When it comes to outer space, you need stuff from outer space for humans to survive, or another power supplies here on Earth.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's, I mean, I've been up there to Cape Canaveral. I've been to that SpaceX thing up there. Seems like they're doing some stuff up there it's covert, like it's like this.
all secret.
It's all it's and it has a weird vibe to it. Like Cape Canaveral has a really weird vibe to it too. It's when you go there, it just doesn't feel right. It feels like something shady's going on. And I read things about where there's tunnels that go from the Cape Canaveral where the rocket launches are, tunnels that go to houses that are in a remote area around the Cape Canaveral. Because when you drive out there, it's all like just miles of road, there's like all these little old houses, and it just feels really weird, and it's just not a lot around there. But apparently there's tunnels that go down through there to some of those houses.
That would make sense to me because they got all that top secret stuff.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
If somebody were going to try to infiltrate it, you've got to go somewhere.
And you'd be able to sneak people in and out without going through the gate if you needed them to go into the Cape without going through the gate, up on top of the surface. So that made me think about that too. Like certain people that are there that can go in the tunnel and then go in there and then come back out and go to the house and just covertly go back and forth. So I was like, there's a lot of deep rabbit holes that you can hit, especially with this whole Artemis thing, And I think it's just putting it out there for people to just start to question it. I really think that's what it is.
Why did it take so long to even do this? And not even going on it, they're just going around it. But it took 54 fucking years to do this again. And it looks like almost the same technology. A little better. Yeah. But why didn't China go? Why didn't Russia go? Unless they kept quiet about it. Yeah. Why didn't some other country go and do the same thing and do it for their country?
I think it's what Mike said. I think it's part of the psyop that the other countries are going to think, oh, we got to go do it now too. Like we got to go do what they did.
I think China would be too smart for it. But they know they're full of it.
I think the next time they send somebody seriously to try to get them to the moon, it's not going to be people. It's going to be robots that look like people.
Yes, and it's easier to do that.
And that's where I think we're going. And maybe he needs the moon to get robots to Mars to start mining whatever they got on Mars.
Yeah, because they're starting to make them have like skin that looks like our skin, They're starting to really get advanced with that.
Oh yeah, and it's not even starting. It's just that's what they're just showing us.
We really don't know what they
had
in
it
the
for
box,
a minute.
right?
Exactly. Yeah, we don't know what they had before, so that's what you have to keep.
You're starting
in
to
mind.
see how good they look and what they can do. These robots, and how agile and they're doing stuff like in the movies. I used to laugh when some robots knew karate.
Yeah.
I'm like, this robot knows karate. Come on now.
And now you look at it.
And now it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, the ones that scare me are like the dogs.
Yeah.
The robotic dog.
China's got them.
That's they made movies about all this stuff years and years ago.
Yeah.
And then the first lady's walking out with a robot in the White House.
Yeah, the predictive programming.
Yeah,
that was
a
ridiculous.
Perfect dog robot. You don't know if it has weapons on it. Like
everything.
Laser things.
They'll have it all.
Scan you like they do at the airport.
Yep. Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff that can
you're
do
right.
Do they want to get rid of us, depopulate us, then have the robots do everything and keep a very few humans
You
left?
have to depopulate us some way if
That's what
AI takes control because it's already taking jobs.
That's the reset. Yeah, that's the reset. That's the great reset. If we go in that direction, we get reset, and then you have all these animals and things doing things for us. But if we use AI to serve us and not to lead us, that would be the key. It would be to serve us.
I think that's the pivoting point in our humanity right now is who's going to control that.
Yeah.
And I can side with Trump there because that's where he wants to make sure America has control over that. But America changes control every 4 to 8 years, and it's kind of scary that somebody can sway an entire industry that's advancing at such a high rate like that.
Well, Elon Musk had expressed that a few years ago with AI because he said AI is rapidly learning so quickly that it will supersede and surpass human beings.
Exactly.
Like we can't even.
What we called
learn
it.
that fast.
We did a podcast on TGI Now about 3.5 years ago called "Warning: AI has become hyper intelligent." And that video got taken off of YouTube within 45 minutes to an hour.
That's like
but
a
you
Terminator.
were right on it because Elon Musk was talking about that, and he was worried about that because now it can be used by your enemy against you.
That's hyperintelligence. It becomes it's not even artificial intelligence.
It's a weapon.
It's a weapon.
That's when Terminator said the computer became self-aware,
Exactly.
but then they triggered a nuclear war to get rid of humans, and then they had their own world to themselves. And they didn't have no use for us.
Right.
And there you go again. Hollywood is always
predictive
ahead of
programming.
the game.
Yes,
Exactly.
it's predictive. Oh yes, I mean Terminator and Matrix, or especially Terminator, is just
like he said, triggers a nuclear war. I mean, that's it's self-aware, and that's what I told people when people started using Siri on their phone. I was like, all you're doing is just telling it what your habits are, and what
how
you
you
like
think.
and how you think. And I'm like, that's why I've never used Siri on my phone ever. Because I don't want to talk to my phone, so I'm just like I just didn't feel comfortable with it, and I knew that it would become self-aware. I'm like, that's what it'll do. So now it'll know exactly how I feel, what I think, what my habits are, exactly. I don't want that. I want that thing to know that. It already does anyway by just typing it in, let alone
listens
telling
to you
it.
all day.
It just listens to me right now.
If you're talking about shaving cream, it'll pop up a shaving cream commercial.
100%. So that's where it becomes hyper intelligent, and that's the concern, and that's I think Mike hit
And
it right
it
on the
does
head.
it when it's off too.
Oh yeah.
You think your phone's off?
No,
it's not really
no,
off.
it's not off. No, it never shuts off.
You got to put it in one of those bags.
That's why you can't take the battery out of it, because that would be the only way you could shut it off completely. You can't even take the battery out of them. You used to be able to take the battery out of the phones, but now I think you could take the battery out of yours.
I
right?
could. I haven't.
He's
but
got
I
an
have a
old
flip
phone.
phone.
Yeah.
It's a new style.
But you can
flip
take the
phone,
battery
but
out of it
it's still old.
Yeah.
Old style as well.
Yeah, but the battery can still come out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't
Does
worry.
that use a SIM card?
Yes. So maybe they can't track me.
Well, they could. I mean,
Well, I have a
you can
iPad,
still.
so
Yeah, the
they
batteries.
know I'm home.
The batteries actually has a tracker in it. Taped on the side of the battery is a tracker. So even if you take you'd have to take the battery out and throw it, and then go the other way.
Just like your TV, you shut it off, it's still
listening to you.
listening,
Yeah.
especially a new plasma TV
Exactly,
or whatever.
they are.
Yeah, your smart TV.
When's the
TV.
last time anybody read terms and agreements? Like for anything, if you don't have apps or anything, that's one thing. But like anytime
They're so
you
freaking
download,
long.
Yeah, exactly.
right, nobody reads it.
No.
You're
Nobody
giving
wants
them
to.
the
What's
permission.
the point in reading it?
They know
Because
that.
you only can answer yes.
Exactly.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't say it doesn't give you a selection of what you allowing.
Exactly.
Like 3 or 4 choices. I allow this. I allow that. I don't allow that. It's like either you say yes or
Yep.
you have no access.
Yep. You don't get any. You get no like option. There's no option.
No
There's
Alexa
no opt out
for you.
Yeah. No opting out. And that's what it is. Yeah. No Alexa for you.
No Alexa for you.
Well, it's the same with everything. They ask you for your email address. You got to have an email address. You got to have a phone number.
They've made it too complicated.
Yeah.
With AI, and they think it's good. It's going to be easy for you. It makes your life simple, but I think it's the worst thing.
Well, they're moving us to scanning stuff like our cards. You can scan your cards now.
Yeah, they want you to get to where you.
Wanted to come on. No. Yeah. I was just checking the time. We got about 20 minutes. So.
Hey, that guy's not here yet.
Who?
I think I saw them come,
He's
but
there, he's set up.
They're here.
it doesn't
yeah.
look like they're in much of a hurry because
There's
it's
nobody
kind of
here.
slow
'cause
night.
It's slow. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
raining out. We got like a mini tropical storm going on in April, which is kind of weird.
Well, it came from the Gulf.
Yeah.
And
April showers,
yes,
spring May
and
flowers.
but-
That's right.
But
Didn't they say every time we shot something up there, we had storms like the week after?
Yeah, that makes sense. Shoot a rocket up into space, and now it's like we get a tropical storm, tropical wave.
Well, who knows what they're doing? It's
Well, that's the other thing. Is like the weather in Florida this year has been very bizarre, very weird, very wonky,
Oh my
very
gosh, yeah.
very like it's been
Cold.
colder than normal. It's colder longer normally. It's very bizarre. I thought about it today, especially with this rain that we're having. It's very weird weather.
Well, it's like October weather, early October weather. Like almost like there's a storm hurricane by the Bahamas, but it's not. But it's pushing.
That's
constant.
what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been like that throughout the state because when we went to Colorado in December to see my daughter, it was cold here, and then when we got there, it was like Florida weather.
Yeah.
And it was Florida weather the whole time till the Sunday we left. And then it dropped to like 20 degrees there, and then when we came here, it was still cool.
It's still cool, yeah. Yeah,
I was like, this is weird.
Yeah, the weather's been weird this winter for sure.
Well, they're going to say, "Oh, well, it's this new El Nino thing." So, they tell, and that's what people believe. And then there's people out there that still don't buy like what we're talking about.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
I know, but they're still.
That's why we do this.
It's El Nino.
This is the whole point. This is why we do
Is
this.
El Nino created by HARP? Maybe
most likely.
and they give it that name.
Yeah, most likely.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You
and
tell
they
them
have
that
those
too. They
set
won't
up
believe
all
it.
over the place, HARP,
Oh,
throughout
yeah.
the nation.
Yes.
I did a podcast on that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're all over. Yeah. That's how they control it. That's how they steer the storm. They steer them with HARP. They turn one on and they steer it the other way, and they turn another one on. It's all frequency.
Free energy type deal.
Yeah, it's free energy type stuff. It's frequency. So you see how it works.
Yeah, and that
give it
frequency HARP can change the colors in the skies.
For the shirt. for the shirt, Joe. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Yeah. Sweet. All right. There you go. Another T-shirt sold. Look at that. Everybody loves a T-shirt. It's awesome. Yep. Conspiracy Club 101. T-shirt, Joe Zepp.
We got to get more speakers for the tables.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we'll.
It's a good time to plug. Again, I'm not on camera, but we'll have some other T-shirts coming out in the near future, and some Binford Chronicles shirts that will help support some free speech cause in the neighborhood. And we can leave it at that for now. But stay tuned for some new apparel coming from IRC Media and your friends here. By the way, DT jumped in again in the comments and said the dude that plays a woman in Delaware politics is Sarah McBride, a.k.a. Timmy.
What's her name?
Timmy.
Sarah, a.k.a. Timmy McBride.
Timmy.
Yes.
Timmy McBride.
Timmy.
Oh, that's great.
I like him. He goes right for the topic. As soon as he gets in, he's like,
He can sit in if he wants.
Yeah, we have about 10 minutes, I'd say. 10 or 12 minutes if you want to jump right in.
Does he want to come in? He can sit over here.
You want to sit in?
Yeah, come on in. Come sit
sit
over here.
Yeah.
Are you? You can stay in.
Whatever you want them to be.
Too, I think.
So Joanna and I were just talking about something a little bit before, and how, ultimately, a friend of mine just came to the meeting and she was like, we were just talking about some stuff, and her question was why, why would they lie or whatever? Why is this all happening? And, can't humans just be great to each other? That kind of thing. And
that's because this world is in a battle of evil and good.
So you know what? That's exactly.
It's evil versus
it's just
good.
Simple. It's so simple, right? And you can see it and feel it and you know it, but yet you can't talk about it with people because it gets sort of taken the wrong way. But it's that simple, And so I told her, I was like, there are no sides. I mean, what's happening is happening to all of us, equally. In other words, how it's being, sort of stolen from us, and what it all means, what their objective is, the goal of the whole thing. And it's not too hard to figure out once you start really tying everything together, all of this stuff, So she was saying, well, I don't really understand that if, they would do this and why they would do that. And I was like, it's okay, because you will. As if to say, she's on the scent, right? Does that happen?
Yep, when
Is
they
that like
the
a real
glasses,
thing? Because that's what happened to me.
Starting to put the glasses on.
Right.
Right. They're starting to question. Well, that's good.
So, yeah. And so I don't have, answers. I mean, I know what I believe and I know what doesn't make sense to me, and that's a lot.
Yeah, if something doesn't make sense, you want to figure it out. You want to dabble into it so that you find the truth, because truth is the best way to go and live your life, is to understand what's going on. So if you don't understand something and you don't question it, well, you can be taken advantage of.
Right.
Right. Because you can't. You should never take anything at face value. You learn about it and you get educated on it, and then you know what is true and what is not true.
Absolutely. I mean, what subject were you guys on before? I'm sorry, I think he took them.
There's a few subjects.
They were talking about Artemis, the moon. I think JFK.
Artemis is real.
We've got 9/11. Did planes really hit the towers?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
As for nukes, I say they are real. However,
which ones? I'm sorry.
Nuclear weapons.
Nuclear weapons, are they real?
Of course, yeah, they're absolutely.
What a lot
real.
of people don't realize is the bombings in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Most Japanese cities back then were made out of wood. The actual destruction that bomb caused did not knock every stone structure, but there weren't that many stone buildings. They do have photographs of that big building. Looks like a broken temple in Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Well, the reason it survived, it was made out of concrete. Most of the city was flattened and burnt because it was wood. The other thing, both of those cities are ports, and they're both like in a bowl shape. If you make your fingers like this,
Yeah.
the city is in the bowl. So yeah, when that thing blew up, all that power went and hit the
walls.
surrounding hills and came back in, and so magnified the damage. I would say that a Hiroshima-sized bomb, heaven forbid, that blew up in New York, we might not even notice it.
What?
I
Well,
mean,
a
of
lot of
course
the
we would,
buildings
but a
are
lot of
made out of concrete, is what he's saying. Am I right?
Yes.
Because
It certainly would
New
destroy
York's
the glass.
not built like Florida. You've got concrete. I mean, you actually have the what do you call the little square blocks? They're the little square, the rectangular
Yes.
concrete
Yeah.
blocks.
Yeah. Cinder block.
Cinder blocks.
yes,
They
cinder blocks.
They build
I
them
was
like
lost.
I had an apartment, and you could see the cinder blocks
Yeah.
on one side of the wall.
Sure.
You know, so
Yeah. It's
they're
strong.
solidly built. That's why those buildings have been there for decades. You know.
Yeah, I guess that what's out there is that the bombs are not what they say they are, and those kinds of, where you could level a whole country.
A lot more of them are used by countries as bluff.
Right.
Of the fear of, see what happened in Nagasaki? Yeah, but we don't live in Nagasaki.
Right.
So the damage that occurred there, as bad as it was, and as terrible it would be again, is not going to be the same amount of destruction, in my opinion. But I'm not a nuclear physicist.
I never thought about that.
San Francisco might have looked similar, maybe a few decades earlier in that timeline if it was detonated there.
Yes. Yeah.
San Francisco's not much different, like you said, in a bay, in a bowl, and that energy could be magnified for there for sure too.
I'm going to bring Alessandro. Do you want to come on? Yeah. You want to come on? This is a newbie to the show. This is Alessandro. Come on. You can take my ears. Come on. Yeah.
Alessandro wants to talk about humanity and where we're at with humanity. Humanity, right?
That's always a good topic.
Nice, humanity.
We have about 10 minutes before karaoke kicks their speakers on. So,
Okay.
Where do you think we're at in humanity, and which direction are we going?
Oh, thanks for remembering that. So I was discussing with my daughter this morning on the way to school the world that I grew up in. Okay, I'm 50-something years old, but the world that I grew up in was the world where if your car broke down and you were on the side of the road, there was no worry at all, ever. Because the first car that saw you pulled over. The very first car. Sometimes it took 3 cars to go by to pull over and help you. Usually it's a tire change or a ride to the gas station, and that was it, right? Or change for the payphone, right? They'd drive you to the payphone. Sometimes people would even change the tire for you on the side of the road. And this is something that is so... It's barely even in any of our memories. And that kind of humanity where you didn't even worry. Like, I remember being a kid and our tire, we had a blowout and we had to pull over. I was with my dad and I was freaking out like, oh my God, what's going to happen? We're in the middle of nowhere in Ohio. And he's like, don't even worry. The first car that comes by is going to stop. And they did. And even now I drive by people on the side of the road and I still go, should I stop? Nah. But that's where we've become. We don't stop anymore. And so how you do anything is how you do everything. We have become a humanity. We don't have landlines anymore. We don't even, everything is virtual. And I know that technology has helped us, right? But even the robots that do our dishes and the laundry and all the stuff that we've invented, it didn't actually make anything better. It actually made things more complicated and worse.
Yeah, it's almost like people are more jaded to life these days. Their head is in a laptop or their head is in their phone. They don't call and talk on the phone anymore. So, whereas that's different than texting because you actually could hear the emotion in somebody's voice when they were talking about something and expressing it. But when you're reading a text, if you don't use your punctuation right and you're just texting to get it over fast, there's several ways you can take that text. So it kind of detaches you from that emotional bond with that person that you're friends with, because like you and I are talking now, we can hear our emotions. You can hear in a voice when they're smiling, and you can hear in a voice when they're crying or holding back the tears, but you can't hear that on a text. You can't see that on a text.
Not only that, but your energy way over there on that table, I can pick it up and I can absorb it and send it back to you. We can give each other light and energy and raise each other up, or we can give each other like and lower the vibration, right? So, you know, and I was just thinking about this, like me growing up in the world where people pulled over for each other, hands down, like no brainer pulled over. That was the humanity that I thought I was raising my kids in. I know that our neighborhood has 20 kids in it, and the neighborhoods that I grew up in, we played and played until the streetlights came on, and then you had to go home, right? And every parent knew everybody else's name. I knew every kid's name. I knew all their parents, and every other parent in the world in the neighborhood knew me. And how many neighborhoods have this now?
So what do you see when you see a group of kids today together? What do you see in that group?
They're all looking at their phones.
Exactly.
They're all looking at their phones. Even my daughter, like we didn't give her a phone, and she went on several field trips, and we would come home like, oh my God, what'd you do on the bus? What songs did the bus end up singing on the way home, right? What did you guys talk about? And she's like, no, Mom, nobody talks. I was the only one without a phone because I don't let her have a phone. So I just sat there. I'm like, didn't anybody even like say, hey, you want to play a game with me and share their phone? Nope. So this is the humanity that I'm like, I'm really struggling raising my children, trying to be visceral, human, accountable people with real friends and real relationships in a world where nobody gives a hoot. Yeah. Nobody gives a hoot. So
this is all due to a loss of Christianity.
I'm going to call baloney on that one.
Oh, go ahead.
It's a loss of something, but I don't think Christianity has anything to do with it.
Up.
Christianity has nothing to do with it.
Sure it does. It influenced people's behavior.
You mean the society of religion? What part of Christianity influenced anybody not playing together outside in the street, not pulling over for each other? Christianity, if true Christianity, we should have a society where people still pull over for each other. Christianity, there is no Christianity.
Technology has created the absence of
Jesus
bonding.
Jesus is the son of a what is it called when you get those tests when you're pregnant? They test the amniotic fluid and they see if your baby is special needs. Jesus is the son of a special needs woman. So there is no Christianity. It's just...
I don't know if Mary was special needs.
Yes, she was.
I don't know about that.
Look it up.
Mary was very special, and her bloodline traced back to David's bloodline. I've never heard anybody refer to her as special needs.
Okay, well, we've gone on a real bounty trail, but I do want to hear about this Christianity thing. I know
when you had a Christian society, people tended to behave and treat each other better.
Well, you're talking about a morality, a society.
No,
with morality.
I don't think that people not pulling over for each other, like the whole society. I'm just using this as an example, but I don't think our society went down the pooper because Christianity had anything to do with it. I think something else had something to do with it.
Well, let's compare two different mothers. You've got a mother that didn't raise her child on technology, and where does she have her child? On her hip. You've got the other mother who's got her child in the stroller, who's not even 1 year old yet, clicking away on a phone.
Right.
So it starts at a very young level where you're not bonding. And that bonding creates that caring personality of recognizing other people, recognizing emotions, sharing your emotions. That's what makes me feel like if he's sad, I'm going to feel his energy and feel sad, and I'm going to notice it.
Right.
But if I grow up looking at this text and this phone, I'm not going to notice him.
Right.
He could be drowning, and I wouldn't notice him.
Yes, exactly.
And that's where it comes from. And that I see where you're saying is when you start leaning that way, you're no longer teaching Christianity to your kids either, because you're not communicating.
That's a whole rabbit hole right there, Christianity, because I mean Christianity isn't even. Where did that word
on your menu
come from?
That's a great
conspiracy
start.
theory right there.
Well, it's a great
Next month.
conversation for next month because we are rounding out to karaoke here in about 4 minutes. Just to give you guys actually 3 minutes. So if you guys want to wrap this up, I'm going to see if John wants to get back on and
so that's
promote
like
their show. So.
Charlie Kirk said, the family bond is important. When you lose that family bond, Christianity falls out of the picture as well. Because when you're together and you're bonding and you're sharing and you're going to church, a lot of families that used to go to church together all the time and then they get divorced, sometimes it breaks it up.
Right.
And that's how the churches get weaker, because people go to church.
If we change the word Christianity and change it to community love, would that be the same?
No.
No.
Because community love is an emotion and a compassion you have for people around you.
So then what do you mean when you say
Christianity is your belief in Christ and the morals and the principles that you learn through Christ.
Yeah, but
and
you
pass those on.
That's a rabbit hole. There's 20 different roads that people call Christianity. And then one set of people.
There's a bunch of people that also say there's a bunch of genders, which.
That's right. And some Christians will say that.
There isn't.
But what if there is?
There isn't.
But what if there is?
There isn't.
Nature
but what if there is?
There isn't.
But how do you know?
Because I know.
Biology.
Have you
biology.
Have you seen somebody's private parts and
have your private
both parts?
part. You are either born with a vajayjay or you were born with a ding dong.
Some people are born with both.
Yeah, that's an anomaly.
No, but how do you know that's an anomaly? How do you know?
That's science.
It's what we're told.
No, it's not what we're told. It's science.
Just as much as what we are told. Just as much as we're told that science told us that there's a pandemic going on, and there really wasn't.
That wasn't science telling you that. That was people telling you that.
So then how do you know who's telling you that there's only two genders? What if there are way more hermaphrodites than we thought?
The science tells you what your DNA is.
But I'm doubting Thomas.
You're doubting who's Thomas?
I'm doubting Thomas.
What is that?
The guy from the Christianity. The guy from the Bible. Doubting Thomas?
That you don't subscribe to, right?
I do not subscribe to Christianity, but I do believe that there was a story in Doubting Thomas, the story of Doubting Thomas, who, do you know? Okay.
I don't know that story.
I have to see it, feel it. I have to see it to believe it. I have to,
So if I say I'm a woman, you need to feel my vajayjay to know that I know I'm a woman?
No.
What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is there's a possibility. I believe there's a possibility that maybe there are people out there who were born with both parts.
Well, that's a fact. There are some people that are born, but that's an anomaly.
I think there's a lot more people than you think.
Some people are born with Down syndrome. That's an anomaly in the gene. That's an anomaly in your genes.
Okay, let me tell you something.
Do
you have children?
I do. I have 2 children.
How many? When you went to the doctor to get that test in the amnio fluid, the test for Down syndrome,
I didn't have to have that test.
Okay, but a lot of times they encourage you to have that test.
Not when I was pregnant.
Okay, but I'm telling you a truth in the world today. Every single human mother I know went and had that test, and guess what? If that test was positive that baby was a Down syndrome baby, guess what the next statement was from their doctor?
You want to keep it.
Yes. Do you want to keep it? And it wasn't do you want to keep it? It was should we eliminate?
What's your point?
My point.
You lost me. What's your
point? My
point
point is that you see the world. There's not too many Down syndrome babies out there. Yeah, because every mother is offered to off that pregnancy and try a different one.
Well, I didn't say there's not that many Down syndrome babies out there, but I said there is Down syndrome babies because the gene pool is messed up.
But you also said, no, it's not. But how do you know
it
it's
is? They
messed
have
up?
an extra gene.
Okay,
That's
if
how you get Down syndrome.
If I believe that there were giants on this planet at one time.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Is that something that we can conclude was an anomaly, or were they regular?
Well, that's mentioned in the Bible.
Okay, so was Doubting Thomas, but you didn't know him. But let's
tell
talk
me
about
where I can
stuff.
find that, and I'd love to look it
in
up.
the Jesus stories. Just read the
What
red.
Jesus story?
All the stories of Jesus when he died and rose again, and then Doubting Thomas was the one who doubted the fact that he really had wounds, and then he really rose again. And Jesus said, "Come here, Thomas," and he took his hand and he had him touch the wounds on his rib cage inside, and he had him touch the wounds in his hand. And then it was at that point that Doubting Thomas felt the wounds with his own hands, and he said, I believe now, and God, help my unbelief. Help me have faith later. Anyway, that's the religion and the light and the believe in light, but you could base that all with something else. But what I'm saying is, I don't think that we know for 100% sure that there isn't a third or fourth gender.
And what would that be then? If you don't have a penis or a vajayjay, what do you have?
Okay, well, like when a child is born with both, usually, again, doctors will ask the parents, your child has been born with both genitals. Which one do you want to keep?
That's still one or the other. So what's the third and fourth one?
Well, what are we going to call somebody whose mother chose, okay, boy? So then they do the operation and put the parts back, and do surgery to make this baby born with both parts.
What you said was they're two separate genders. You said one's a boy or a girl. Which one do you want it to be? Well, that's two genders.
No, it isn't. That's a medical choice. That's a medical choice. That's a medical choice to die. But God made this baby, or whatever light spirit, whatever God.
No, it's still two genders.
No.
It's
okay.
Still two genders.
So what about that third gender with both? What about we say
that's
he,
not
she,
a
and
third gender.
hermaphrodite?
That's two genders.
But what if we say he, she, and hermaphrodite? What if it was okay to be a hermaphrodite?
Let me speak. Now, you're saying that somebody's born with two different genders.
She's not married.
And you have to pick one or the other, right?
No man.
What's to say that you're saying that God made that child two different genders? You're not.
I'm not saying two different genders.
Let me finish. You don't know for sure that God did that because you don't know what the mother took before she had the baby. While she was pregnant, if she got any kind of vaccines or anything like that, that might have altered that baby's gender.
But neither do you.
I know, but you can't state it a fact that there's more than two genders.
Right. So then you can't state the fact that there's only two genders.
No, I'm
there
not saying
is
that.
only
I'm saying
two
that-
genders.
No, there isn't. You don't know that.
is.
We don't know
We
that.
gotta wrap this up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
We gotta wrap it up.
We don't know that.
Or a girl. You're a boy or a girl.
Or hermaphrodite.
Well, if you keep both genders that you're born with.
But it could be something else. We just called it that.
It's not anything else. It's either one or the other.
I completely want to plant a seed that we don't know everything. We think we do, and then we debate like we know it. But that's what science is
I would say
discovering
that
things
on other
and learning
things, but I'm sorry, we have the science. You
No,
either
we don't.
have the genes of a girl or a boy.
We also have the
or-
science that said that the vaccine was,
That wasn't
works.
science. That was people.
But okay, so people are making it, demanding that we keep two categories.
No, they're not. You're either
Okay.
born with a vajayjay or you're born with a stick.
Okay.
Or you're born with something else.
No.
I'm going to have to wrap this up. I thank you guys for participating. It is 8:05.
What do you want, with a shovel?
The karaoke guy is waiting to take the stage, and usually they're booting us out earlier. So I appreciate Filthies, and make sure you give us a follow. If you're following and watching on any of the other platforms, the Conspiracy Club Facebook page now is eligible for live. So make sure you follow that also as we'll start to clean up these destinations. So again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for comments, and we'll see you guys next month on the Conspiracy Club.
Thank you for having this page.
Thank you.
Love it.